What's going on, everybody? Good morning, and welcome to my Monday morning monk mode writing routine. I'm sure the title of this will change as much as the routine itself. It's always adapting, it's always in flux, especially with what's seasonally available here in February. I like to be in my study, I call it at my house. It's a room dedicated to writing. So let's see. I've optimized and developed and tweaked this routine with the realization that I am a morning person, that my best peak creativity comes, within the first hours of the day. And one concept that I like is that you want to bring that dream-like energy, that dreaming state of mind to the page, no matter what you're writing, as much as possible. So you want to reduce the steps from rolling out of bed to writing. So I roll out of bed, put on a pair of long johns or sweatpants if you prefer, whatever's comfortable, some kind of comfortable shirt. When possible, I'm really getting into, I want to convert my wardrobe as much as possible to natural things like cotton and linen. Polyesters or plastics are just not that good for you. But this robe is 100% polyester, but it's very warm. Call it my monk robe because it's brown, like Thich Nhat Hanh said, to remind myself that I'm a monk. And I'm going monk mode of sorts for Lent, putting into practice certain disciplines, but staying focused on the morning routine. I get out of bed, I get dressed in what is comfortable, because I get to work from home. Whether you write for a living or work from home or not, at least on a Saturday morning, you can enjoy this kind of comfort too. So far, you want to get out of bed, minimize the time it takes you to get to your writing spot. The other thing is have a writing spot. I also have a spot in my front room, big open window, where, as you can see from this natural lighting from the side, I'm a big proponent of, as you're waking up, get natural daylight in your eyes, whether it's through window or if it's warm enough, getting outside. So let's see. I get dressed in my writing attire, my monk attire, and then I don't go right to writing because soon I would get hungry or want coffee. So as I'm waking up, I go to the kitchen and I prepare things that will allow me to write for longer. So the first thing I do is I grind my coffee beans, get the water boiling. I have a food scale that I use. I've been tracking my calories. I aim for 160 grams of protein a day while trying to keep it to 2,000 to 2,200 calories. We're doing pretty good about that. And I put an empty glass on the food scale, and then I weigh up 23 grams of this Ora cacao, this ceremonial cacao. It's got, per serving, like maybe 37 milligrams of caffeine and quite a bit, 212 milligrams of theobromine, which is Greek for God food, I believe, food of the gods, essentially. I've been using that as a neurotropic. So the water's boiling, get my coffee made. I put my coffee in the French press, add the boiling water, and I stir it with this comically long, slender spoon a few times until it starts to settle. I do not actually use the French press. I call it French cowboy coffee, where you just let it settle. And you get the same amount of sediment as you would with a French press. By the time you're done with the cup, you'll end up with a little bit that needs rinsing at the bottom, like some of that fine stuff. So I get that going. And then I weigh up 8 fluid ounces of Fairlife fat-free ultra-filtered milk. I love whole milk, but when it comes to counting calories and trying to stay compliant with my macros, this Fairlife stuff is great because instead of like 8 grams of protein per 8 ounces or per cup or whatever, you get 13 grams. I did notice, because it's highly processed, if I drink it out of like a plastic cup like this by itself and it dries, it'll leave a plasticky residue. So that kind of freaks me out a bit, but whatever. There's microplastics and everything. I think that's just the milk drying itself because it's like a highly processed milk. One day I'd like to get into drinking like actual raw milk if I could find a good supplier and do it legally. I'm very much interested in raw milk. My grandpa actually stopped drinking milk once they started pasteurizing it. So I'd like to know what the real thing is at some point. Again, I'm making this protein drink because I used to make eggs, but sometimes having 4 eggs straight thing in the morning would make me kind of tired because there's all like the fat and stuff. But this has been a smoother burn, so I add 1 scoop of Levels Whey Protein. It's got whey protein concentrate, cocoa powder, sunflower lecithin, sea salt, stevia leaf extract, monk fruit extract. Not very many ingredients for a protein powder. I think it's from Wisconsin or something, or maybe it says New Jersey. I don't know. It's a U.S. made, but it's a good brand. I like it. It's a little bit sweet. And the thing is, I'm keeping in mind that I want to be macro compliant. I want to start my day with proteins, but I'm also setting myself up to, when I do get to writing, I can do it for a few hours till I need to eat. So typically what I'll do is I'll mix it with this instead of using like a NutriBullet, which requires multiple parts to clean up. I'll put it in a disposable plastic cup because it's annoying to have to wash like things like that, and plastic cups are cheap. Interesting about plastic cups, if you get them out of a pack, run your finger along the bottom. A lot of them, like the red cups and things like that, or even the clear ones, will have a lot of little microplastics in the bottom, like plastic shavings. So that's an interesting thing to see if your disposable plastic cups have that. So I'll give it a rinse with water first, but usually it's not too bad. It's just something I've noticed. Microplastics and everything, I could do better with switching from bottled water to filtering my own. Another thing is, if I'm feeling fancy, I'll try and have Gerolsteiner sparkling water if I want to activate my German genes. And I must say Gerolsteiner is the top sparkling water. Gerolsteiner is the best tasting and textured sparkling water. Or I'll have San Pellegrino if I want to activate my Italian genes. So, have a little bit of hydration, but we're going to be drinking plenty of fluid. So I mix it with this Foodville. I put the whisker on top. It's pretty easy to clean. You just got to rinse it with warm water and wipe it down really good with a paper towel. And then I let the protein shake like settle because otherwise I'll be drinking a lot of foam. So we can pretty much slam this. I forget how much protein it is. Easily like 40 grams, like right off the rip. It's very sweet. In terms of protein, I like it. Going to the gym later, so start the day with a win there. Next thing I do, and usually I do this in the kitchen. I don't know. I don't use drugs or alcohol. Most great writers don't, or they have in the past, but they don't. I don't use drugs or alcohol, but I do always look for something a little bit more than coffee, like a little nootropic stack. Went through a whole root and bones thing of lion's mane, powdered mushroom, and then I tried this Fifth Kingdom blend, which I'm currently working on. I like the taste of lion's mane by itself. It's supposed to be good for your brain or your mind. And Fifth Kingdom has, by Root and Bones, chaga, reishi, agaricus, turkey tail, lion's mane, cordyceps. This stuff is so bitter. It smells like celery, and it is so bitter. So I recently reordered from them lion's mane and chaga, because I've heard if you take 2 grams of each, then you can really get the effects, because a lot of mushroom companies are underdosed. but this is a good brand. I believe they test for like toxins and heavy metals, which is why I also like Ora Cacao. A lot of chocolate treats, a lot of chocolates, especially dark chocolate brands, don't pass the California sniff test where they have to say if it has lead or heavy metals. And this stuff, Ora Cacao and these are both tested for heavy metals and things, because when you get into like concentrates or certain things like chocolate, like they can have heavier metals depending on where they're grown, how they're processed. So that's a nice thing. You know, do your research on all this stuff. But I'll get a half teaspoon, and this stuff is so bitter. I don't actually drink it with a protein shake because it just doesn't blend well. I take my chocolate stirring spoon, get that all stirred up, because I added 23 grams of these Ora Cacao. They come as pellets. You just add them in there. They're like little chocolate wafers. Like a chocolate communion wafer for Lent. Add 23 grams in there. And then you let the water sit for a little bit, because you're not supposed to do full boiling. I don't know if you guys can see that. Where's the angle? But there's a lot of fat bubbles in there, like oils. And I stir that up. It's pretty much cooled way down now. But because chocolate is bitter, I might experiment with making chocolate the way the Aztecs or the people in Europe did back when it was like a new thing. But I like the taste of things as they are. So this stuff, even though I can like some weird taste, this stuff is just very bitter. But I'm doing it for the nootropic effect. Don't even notice anything that much. I just like the idea that I got a little extra edge. So I'll just dry scoop this. Bam. Not too bad. Ooh. It's like a really weird bitter celery. And then it's better to, instead of a sweet drink like the protein shake, it actually mixes better with a bitter drink like cacao. And then I usually slam this pretty fast, but I do it usually while I'm looking out my back kitchen window or out the front window. I associate drinking this with opening the heart chakra, because theobromine works on your heart. And I like to associate it with just drinking it, watching the sunrise, getting daylight in my system. So I will look out my window there. I usually get a paper towel and wipe that out real quick while it's still, melty, so it's not harder to clean later. And okay, now I'm just about ready to write. And these cups are like from, what's it called? Hocking something in Ohio. Like they're Ohio made glasses. And I just like glass. Nothing can leach into your stuff. It's made in the USA. Don't gotta worry about any metals leaching in from a stainless steel or getting weird taste. You can see the drink better. It's hocking something like anchor hocking, or I don't know. But these glasses, I got them for like $4 at Myers. And it's just a really nice 16-ounce glass. And I'll drink two, I typically drink all this coffee in a day. I take 3 scoops of fresh beans, grind them up. I don't have the scoop size. Like a scoop. I think I'd measured it in grams one time, and it was like 25 to 30 grams of beans on average. Grind them up, put them in here, stir them until they start to settle, let it sit for a while, and then here we go. I'm gonna do the ASMR version for you guys. Bam. And at this point, we are basically ready to write, y'all. So let's get into the actual writing part of the video, 15 minutes in. So many times I'll have my noise canceling headphones on, listening to hand panned radio. I like this song called Garden of Ohm. I don't know. Maybe I'll link it in the description. If you ever wake up and you got a stiff neck from bed, this Theragun is really great. Use it on my neck a lot. It is awesome if you're in like a long writing session at your desk. And obviously get up and stretch if you can. But this Theragun is awesome if you ever get a stiff neck while you're writing. So keep that handy. Occasionally, I try and stick to my own thoughts in the morning, but one book I've been reading recently is The Soul Way by Solbra. It's a cool cover. I like to support basically Twitter authors, like people who are independently publishing. I always like the Amazon print to publish books. They always got a nice cover feel. I just like supporting authors who are just basically self-publishing, because that's what I intend to do someday. And so in the past, I've experimented with journaling, like morning pages, like doing 1 to 3 pages, or doing it for a 5-minute gratitude journal. And my routine is always changing. Oh yeah. I should say, if any of you are concerned about how I might smell working from home since I just roll out of bed, don't worry. I've got enough fragrance to seduce a horse. I've got Azaro Most Wanted for a nice, warm, spicy, cozy winter fragrance. Which one will I do today? And I've also got Maracay Passion. Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. For like a clean, fruity, green one. What will be my fragrance of the day? I'm actually feeling the Maracay today. Very fresh. So, another thing, I've got a candle going over there. I think it's a warm, cozy vanilla one, like it's called Christmas Cookies or something like that from Yankee Candle. But one thing I've gotten into, I've been reading stuff by Frederick Dodson a lot, and he's into his brand of manifestation and visualization. My dad has always said visualize, magnetize, and realize, and I've accomplished things in my life that way. My dad has accomplished things in his life that way, like getting a PhD and beyond. And I've accomplished certain things with plain old to-do lists, but also I know scripting works. And Frederick Dodson kind of ripped on journaling, and he said, of course, and one thing Solbra says is like, you got to test everything and vet it and see what works for you and what resonates with you. And for many months I did like journaling. I've actually got only like 5 pages left in this 120-page Loic term journal. I've got a new one waiting on my bookshelf from Amazon to start that when I fill this one up. But I don't do gaps. I just continuously fill pages as a journal because I like how it looks when it's done. But sometimes I'll get started on journaling, but then I feel like that would sap, and I wanted to get right to what you might call client work, like paid writing tasks, like so I can attack that and then, quote, enjoy the rest of my day. But I realized, like, I think there's a Rabindranath Tagore quote about, like, I slept and dreamed that life was pleasure. I awoke and found that life was work. I worked and found that work was pleasure. So, like, sometimes, like, when the week comes to an end or I get my writing assignments done for the week, I'm like, what do I do now? Like, so there's that line from Fish's song Wilson, like, can you still have fun? So sometimes I think I gotta work out my fun muscle. Like, like sometimes I can't still have fun. I'm like, I get very like to-do brain, like that Monday mindset I post about on LinkedIn all the time. That Monday morning mindset runs deep. But so I would recommend reading The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I'm still actually halfway through it. But the most important thing out of that was the morning pages and writing a journal entry every day, whether it's a 5-minute gratitude journal or like she recommends 3 handwritten pages, or whether it's 1,000 typed words. But handwriting is very special, I've realized. Even though I can type, I think my record on Nitro typewriter is like 140 words per minute. So I can type at the speed of thought, but handwriting is very special. And Frederick Dodson basically made me realize like the power of the soft touch of just setting an intention. And like sometimes journaling is just complaining. It can be or you're talking about the past or the future, or your fears, and sometimes that's beneficial. Just like you have to go to the bathroom and get waste out of your body. Sometimes you have to clear waste out of your mind by journaling, and that can be very healthy. And then it clears the way for good things or new things. But I've been into the soft touch, which is either just writing an intention, or more importantly, even as of last night, I've replaced journaling what has been in my life, what has happened, and what is happening with scripting, which is where you're writing as if your goals have already happened, as if your ideal life has already happened, or you're scripting it out like it's a story. You're saying you're just living it out. You're making clear what you do want. And there's all sorts of like semantics and language games of like I want this versus I allow this. So I've been getting into that. Sometimes if I can't sleep at night, or if I wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and can't fall asleep for an hour, I'll set intentions and do the reality creation technique of stating my intention, letting objections surface, and restating the intention. So that's how my morning journaling practice has kind of changed. Got a 2024 planner, keep a to-do list for the day, 3 to 5 bullets, and then it's got a note side. On the other side, just like a plain note page. Again, it's by Leuchtturm. I'll show you guys what this one looks like. I just like the quality of Leuchtturm. It's German made, or well, I don't know if it's German designed and made in China now, like most things. Made in Taiwan. Okay, so designed in Germany, made in Taiwan. But so I've got all 7 days on this side, and then a big side of notes, like just an open line to note page there. So I use a combination of those for daily to-dos, or just a running to-do list for the week that I plug in whenever the energy flows there. Other writing practices, may hand copy winning emails, winning sales pages, so on and so forth. Similarly to how I, teach in fictioneering, like you hand copy the greats, whether it's fiction or sales writing. Got my sloppy copy Leuchtturm, but I've been mainly doing my writing directly on my computer, which I'll show you here towards the end. I've not even had coffee yet today, y'all. I'm also rocking my thinning hair. It's pretty freaking heavy metal. As you guys know, this could be the last time I have long hair. I might be buzzed head from here on out, because, I don't know, unless I start rubbing magical oils on my scalp, who knows, but I will not be messing with minoxidil or finasteride or whatever. I don't want to mess with my hormones, but maybe I'll rub some magical rosemary oil on there, and I'll have a thick hairline, like a standing army, like a standing army of thick, bristling follicles, just unwavering, unmoved by even the strongest wind. So we shall see. Coffee. And usually by this point, so journaling I haven't been doing as much, but it's an option. It's something that phases in and out of my morning routine. I'll try and make a point to journal on the weekend if I'm not working on a writing project, just check in with myself. But yes, experiment with journaling, stream of consciousness, or scripting and setting intentions. It's kind of what I've been getting into now. Or sometimes you want to start the day with a win, you can hand copy something, so you're writing something and it's very good. But the whole point is, this video is getting pretty long, but doesn't take long to get out of bed and like I'm fueled up on protein. I got technically I think 4 cups of coffee. I think each one of these is technically like 2 cups. Like if it's 16 ounces, like got a liter of coffee basically, and can basically just get right to writing. I'll use a digital timer, break things up by 33-minute, 33-second chunks. I'll listen to ambient music on my headphones or through my speakers, whether it's via Pandora or YouTube. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about it, guys. Always keep a G2 pen. It's good to have a little scrap of note paper, like a little pocket thing. It's good to have sticky notes, good writing tools. So I've always been interested in other writers' writing routines and everything peripheral to writing itself. That's why this video wasn't so much about the actual writing, it's about everything that prepares you. So, I mean, this is what prepares me to write uninterrupted, aside from bathroom breaks due to all the, liquids and plant stimulants via cacao and caffeine and all that. So you might have to go to the bathroom a few times in the morning, but it's all part of the creative process. And yeah, then I can just I write till I get hungry or need a break and take a walk. So that's been pretty much it. It's taken some refinement to get to this point. I'm sure it'll change as things warm up. I may want to write on my back deck in the morning in the sunshine, but I'm rambling now, so I guess I will show you guys my setup just briefly. I mean, another thing, if I want to write by my front window, I can use my MacBook Pro. A MacBook Pro got me through from 2010 to 2020, and then I got that one in 2020 with the stimulus money. And MacBook Pros are solid. And here's my current writing setup. Got it on selfie mode. So I got a 32-inch Samsung monitor on a Mac Mini and a Logitech keyboard. Obviously the desk has kind of got a lot of stuff on it because I've been showing you guys, but I like and then one of my dad's paintings back there, another one of my dad's paintings over there, the sunrise in the east. And it took some getting used to, and I got little, Logitech speakers there, in case I've been wearing my noise canceling headphones for too long. But, the 32-inch screen took some getting used to. I turned the brightness all the way down and I put on night mode constantly, and I love it. It's basically 2 screens in one, and when you're doing research and writing, it's very helpful to have 2 tabs, like one you're typing in, one you're referencing or researching in side by side. So it took some getting used to. I got it on a good sale around Black Friday time last November, and it's been a game changer. I love working from home, prefer it to library or coffee shops. But if I ever do take my work on the road and start exploring the South, because that being said, I got my heater in here. One of the reasons I like to work in my study is because I just will turn the heater up to 90 and just let it cook, and I'm very warm and cozy right now. So yeah, guys, that's my Monday morning mindset monk mode writing routine, subject to change. Do your own research and all these things that I do to see if it agrees with your body. Consult a physician and all that. And that's it, guys. So I'm going to get to the writing part of my day now. And thanks for watching. May God richly bless you.